What if the move meant to protect everything, ended up giving someone else all the power? That's the unsettling question hanging over General Hospital right now, as Carly's latest decision sends ripples through Port Charles, and all signs point to one unexpected outcome. Valentin is stronger than ever. Not because he fought for it, not because he forced it, but because the situation shifted in his favor. And now, everyone else may be playing catch-up. Did Carly just make Valentin more powerful than ever on General Hospital? In Port Charles, power is rarely static. It moves, it shifts, it evolves based on decisions, both intentional and accidental. Characters gain influence not only through strategy, but through the unintended consequences of others' actions. And right now, the spotlight is on Carly. Because her latest move, driven by instinct, emotion, or necessity, may have done more than resolve a short-term problem. It may have fundamentally altered the balance of power. And the biggest beneficiary? Valentin. Carly's decision. Immediate gain, long-term risk. Carly has always been a character who prioritizes decisive action. She does not wait for clarity. She does not hesitate when stakes are high. She moves. And in many situations, that decisiveness works in her favor. But the complexity of this particular scenario lies in its long-term implications. What Carly achieved in the moment may have come at a cost she did not fully anticipate. Because in Port Charles, no action exists in isolation. Every move creates openings, and sometimes those openings benefit someone else. Valentin's position before the shift. Valentin Cassadine has always been a character defined by intelligence, patience, and strategic thinking. He doesn't rely on force. He relies on timing, on understanding the landscape, on recognizing opportunities when they appear. Before Carly's decision, Valentin's position may have been stable, but not dominant. He was a player, but not necessarily the most powerful one. The shift, opportunity created, not taken. What makes this situation particularly compelling is that Valentin did not need to act aggressively to gain advantage. The opportunity was created for him. Carly's decision, whatever its intent, reshaped the environment in a way that aligns with his strengths. And Valentin excels in environments where information is fluid, alliances are unstable, perception is shifting. In other words, chaos. Power in Port Charles, a fluid concept. Power in General Hospital is not just about authority, it is about influence, information, perception, timing. Valentin's strength lies in his ability to operate across all four, so when the balance shifts, even slightly, he is uniquely positioned to capitalize on it. And that is exactly what may be happening now. Carly versus Valentin. Emotion versus strategy. At the core of this dynamic is a contrast in approach. Carly acts from instinct. Valentin acts from calculation. Neither approach is inherently superior, but they function differently. Carly's decisions create movement. Valentin's decisions shape outcomes. So when Carly makes a move, she sets the stage, and Valentin, if the opportunity aligns, steps into it. The illusion of control. From Carly's perspective, her decision may have felt like control, like taking charge of a situation, like protecting what matters. But control in Port Charles is often temporary, because unseen variables always exist. And in this case, that variable may be Valentin. While Carly was focused on immediate impact, Valentin may have been observing the broader implications, and that difference in perspective creates advantage. Valentin's strength, patience, and precision. Valentin does not rush. He does not overextend. He waits. And waiting in a rapidly shifting environment can be more powerful than acting, because it allows him to gather information, assess reactions, identify weaknesses. By the time he moves, the outcome is often already influenced in his favor. The ripple effect of Carly's decision. Carly's action does not just affect her immediate situation, it influences how others perceive her, how alliances are structured, how information flows, and within that ripple effect, Valentin finds space to maneuver, space to observe, space to gain leverage. Perception as power. One of the most overlooked aspects of power is perception. If others believe Valentin is gaining strength, they may act more cautiously around him, hesitate to oppose him, adjust their strategies in response. That perception alone increases his influence, even before he takes any direct action. The strategic advantage of being underestimated. If Carly's decision shifts focus away from Valentin, it gives him another advantage: underestimation. When attention is directed elsewhere, he gains freedom to operate without scrutiny. And in Port Charles, lack of scrutiny is a powerful tool because it allows strategy to develop without interference. The potential consequences for Carly. If Valentin's power has indeed increased, Carly may face unintended consequences. Reduced control over situations. Increased opposition. Strategic disadvantages. Her initial move may have solved one problem, but created another, and that new problem may be more complex than the original. The broader impact on Port Charles. This shift does not affect only Carly and Valentin. It influences the entire environment. Other characters may realign their loyalties, reevaluate their positions, react to the changing balance of power. This creates a dynamic landscape where nothing remains stable for long. Themes driving this storyline. Several key themes emerge. Action versus consequence. Carly's decision triggers outcomes beyond her control. Strategy versus instinct. Valentin's calculated approach contrasts with Carly's emotional one. Power as fluid. Influence shifts based on circumstance, not just intent. Why this storyline works. This arc is compelling because it explores indirect consequences. The most interesting developments are not always the obvious ones. They are the ones that emerge from unintended outcomes, subtle shifts, strategic positioning, and this storyline captures all of those elements. The question remains: did Carly actually make Valentin more powerful? The answer is not definitive, but the signs are there. A shift in dynamics, increased opportunity, growing influence. Whether intentional or not, her decision may have set something in motion. Final thoughts. In General Hospital, power is never fixed. It evolves, it adapts, and sometimes it emerges from unexpected places. Carly's decision may have been about control, about protection, about immediate necessity. But in doing so, she may have opened the door for Valentin to step into a stronger position than ever before. Because in Port Charles, the most powerful moves are not always the ones you make intentionally. Sometimes they are the ones someone else benefits from.